When I first started creating content for myself, you see, money was never ever on my mind. It still isn't to this day. I just wanted to actually share my ideas and experiences over the last 10 years and see if I could connect with people naturally and authentically. Now, the thing about me is I was never starting from scratch though. You see, I had already lived inside the playbook. Now, working with Devin and of course building in the lab, I had a front row seat to what happens when you actually can combine influence, community, and consistency. So I saw how one raw workout video or one vlog or one documentary series could drive a ton of apparel sales and positive influence for our brand. I also saw how community was not just followers. It was people traveling across the world to show up for events or spending their hard-earned money on our apparel. So when I first made my first dollars for my own personal brand, of course, through book sales and brand deals, it wasn't like really shocking to me, but it still was a surreal feeling because, I've made a few $1,000s now over the last few months, which I'll show you guys all the proof. But here's the thing, you see, those deals, they didn't come from chasing money. They came because I spent months giving free value, free content, and free playbooks. It was just free game 24/7. That's all I've done, and that's all I've continued to do. Now, that's what I want you to take away from this. Your first dollar doesn't start with asking people to buy something. It starts with giving so much free value that when you finally put an offer out, people want to support you. Now in this video, I'm breaking down how to make your first dollar with your personal brand. So we're going to cover the mindset shift you need to make, the first revenue streams you can actually test, what worked for me and what didn't, and of course, how to expand once you cross that line. Because making your first dollar isn't actually about money, it's about belief. And once you have that, I promise you everything will change. All right, welcome back to the studio and let's go right into the mindset shift. Now, to me, the very first step in monetization is not tactical, it's actually mental. Okay, I just make some content too. No, I'm building a business. So that's all mental. Okay, keep that in mind as we go throughout this entire video. Now, most people get stuck as consumers, okay? They start creating, okay? But they never make that final shift into an entrepreneur. So from consumer to creator, how do you make that shift into entrepreneur? Because you don't want to get stuck there, right? You're just like, now I'm making content. So I'm a creator. That's great. But how do you make it into an entrepreneur to where you can now build, monetize, and scale your personal brand? Many people never make it into the final stage. And that's why they stay at zero and never really make it over that big hump. So I want you to, again, keep that in mind. And first we have in the lab. Okay, so I'm gonna give you two examples again from my own journey. And the mindset shift for me kind of happened in, I guess you would say, two stages. First, there was everything I learned from in the lab. So let's call it the ITL lessons. Now, watching Devin, as I mentioned, I realized that content was just the spark, but the engine was behind it. It was everything else behind it. So products, the camps, the silent basketball, the events, all the things we were doing, that was the engine. He wasn't just posting, he was actually building a massive global movement. And then when I look into my brand today, even when I first started, and this is earlier on, but I only thought about videos and posts. But once those brand deals started hitting my inbox and I was getting emails, I was getting DMs, I was gonna have those receipts I'll be showing to you guys, I realized that even for me, like, I had to unlock that for myself. Like, I'm not just gonna be a creator. If I've been doing this for years and teaching people how to build and monetize and scale their personal brands and businesses, I need to do the exact same thing for myself. So again, taking the years of experience and consulting and applying it right here to make sure that I don't get stuck at consumer to creator, I need to make that leap into an actual entrepreneur and business. The question used to be, okay, what video should I post? What script should I write? How can I pump out and get content out there? And that is not the game that we want to play. That's not the game that I'm playing. That's what I want to show and teach you. To me now, the way we want to think about things is, how does this piece of content build trust and eventually lead to an offer that helps someone? If I'm trying to put out a video, how does this help someone? How do I build trust? And how do I eventually maybe lead to an offer, something down the road? But how do I just focus on building trust? So I always want to tell you guys that I want to give as much value as I can, right? And as I go and create all these videos and all this great content, for me, it's all about value and execution. I want to give you as much value as I can through all these videos and the learnings that I'm going to give, but I also want to show you the tactical side on how to execute on that, because I think that's where people are, the missing step is. There's all these gurus and people talking about things online about, here's all the value, here's all the things that I want to give you from my knowledge and experience, but how are you supposed to execute that? That's why if you go back to the first video, even all the future videos coming up, I want to give you exercises, resources, thought-provoking questions that you can pause the video on, sit back, write down your answers, and start to really think, almost like we're in like a classes in session, because that's where the actual real learning will start to begin. Okay, so that's what I want you to always think about. So again, the question now for me is, it's not what video should I post, it's how does this piece of content actually build trust for me amongst my audience? I'll be real with you guys. Starting to make content, first of all, as I said, it's not easy, but there was times for me when I definitely felt like awkward, like, because I don't want to be salesy, I don't want to lose authenticity, and honestly, like, there's definitely a lot of moments of imposter syndrome, just like, should I be talking about this? Do I have enough knowledge to talk about this? Am I reputable enough to talk about this? And I think that's a lot of things. Those feelings are very valid thoughts that many creators face. By me naturally putting out this content, creating these series, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all that kind of stuff, naturally reinforcing to myself how much knowledge and experience I have. Because I think the biggest thing is, you may be going through life right now and you've actually done a lot of things, but maybe you haven't really told people about it. Maybe you've never talked to your significant other or your family, your friends about that, because naturally, you just don't bring that kind of stuff up when you guys are hanging out. But what I would implore you to do is to start to talk more about it with your friends, with your circle, with your significant others, your family, and like let people start to come into your life and see what you're doing, how you're doing, and how you're building. Because I think that's really going to help you unlock this. That's something I wish I did earlier, because now that I do it more and I'm starting to talk to more people, I'm starting to engage more, you can really see like, wow, because people will tell you, like they tell me like, dang, like, you've done a lot, like you have so much knowledge and experience, like I don't know how you're thinking. I don't know you're processing all that. I don't know you're handling all these things so fast. Like you get to see it. And I feel like that helps eliminate that concept of imposter syndrome. So I want to share that because that's something I've definitely been through and experienced even to this day. So the click moment for me was my first personal product sale, which again, not to plug it, but like when I first sold my first copy of, Shut Up and Execute, which is my time boxing planner, like that was like an unlock to me because I made this for fun as a passion project, right? And this is actually like the second version of it, but I made that just for fun. I am very passionate about the execution mindset and concept. And the reason I call it Shut Up and Execute is because I get so many people asking me these questions, like, and they're just procrastinators. Like they have all these ideas and thoughts and concepts. And for me in my head, I'm like, man, just like shut up and execute on it. Like just go do it. You'll be so successful if you just pull back the curtain, just go execute on it. That's all you really need to do. So I remember selling my first ever copy. And honestly, I don't even know who that first actual official person was because, I'm selling on Amazon KDP, so I don't get that data, but I'm sure it's one of the people within my circle that bought it. But when you step outside that and you look at the actual consumers on Instagram, so like my actual followers, because like now I've sold a couple hundred of these books, so I know that like a lot of people have bought this book and purchased it and use it. There's so much value that can be created through your content. But again, also to me, it shows that people will purchase something from you when you're giving value. Like I don't really like promote this book. People don't even know I have this. I want to like do more content and stuff around it, but like I haven't been pushing that because like, to me, this is a tool that's going to help you get where you need to be. And I'm excited that I was able to create this and brand it in a certain way that I think people will like and enjoy. You put this in your backpack, you travel with it, you carry with it. Like that's very cool for me. But it all started with just immense value. People developed trust and a bond with me. And then they saw, okay, no, I didn't know Nav had this book. Let me go check it out. Oh, this actually makes sense. He always talks about time boxing, executing, how to get ahead, how to manage your day and plan. So let me get it and support. So random side story, but I want you guys to know all this stuff, right? And that's again why I need you to understand like validation is much greater than theory. So one paying customer is more important than 10,000 likes. And I talked about this in the first video, but I want to hit home on some of these core ideas and concepts every single time I get an opportunity to. So there's 3 frameworks. First is the creator identity shift. And again, it's what I talked about, going from consumer to creator to entrepreneur. That is the identity shift and the change you need to make. How can I get from consumer to creator to entrepreneur? That's where you want to be and live, okay? Second is the MVP mindset. You want to start small, but test very fast. Like I told you in the first video, speed of execution will take you very, very far. Don't wait to be polished. Don't wait to be perfect. Just put it out there, start small, test fast. Number 3 is the value exchange principle, okay? People buy, and what you give them is worth more than the money they give up. If I'm giving immense value worth thousands and thousands of dollars, you're seeing that I made millions of dollars. You've seen all the brands and cool things I've done. If let's just say tomorrow I drop something for $10. It's a 200 guide, 200-page ebook, whatever. Like $10 is nothing in the grand scheme of things. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it becomes very, very simple to see that if I'm providing value all the time, you slowly want to start releasing products and doing things. As long as you're giving immense value, people will pay for that. Again, if they understand that what they're getting is worth more than the money they're going to give up, right? That's like the value exchange principle that you want to keep in mind. So again, feel free to pause, taking into account those 3 frameworks, write them down and remember them and start to think about, okay, how do I actually turn myself from creator into entrepreneur? And in the meantime, what we can do is start talking about the next point, which is your first revenue stream. And I want to talk about like kind of what worked and what didn't. When we talk about actually making your first $1, This can come in so many different forms or fashions, okay? For me, it happened to come from my book. And then for me now, the thousands and thousands of dollars I make have come through my brand deals that are coming just because I'm creating great content. People are seeing it and people want me to connect and create content for their brands or their products or their companies because they're seeing that relationship or how I'm delivering that content. But that, again, took months and months and months. And it took a lot of time to develop and get there, okay? So for me, again, the first dollars came from my book, now the brand deals. And again, I will be making like other videos on this, kind of updating you guys on how far along I am, because as you know, I want to make $1 million with my personal brand and kind of show you all that in public. So I will do like at least like a monthly or bi-weekly update, but you will actually see like how far along in the journey I am from $1 million, like how much are we actually making and scaling as the months go by. Because I've had a bunch of brand deals come in, I have a few more lined up. So things are actually flowing, knock on wood, really well. So I want to keep it going. I want to keep the consistency up, again, to show you all that it's possible. At the end of the day, I'm just a brown man making some content, okay? But I do have, of course, some knowledge and experience that I want to give back to you. And I'm trying to articulate myself enough without these teachings, these processes, these systems, these tools to show you all how to get ahead and do the exact same thing, okay? But the truth is that all this only happened because I gave up a ton of value first, okay? So I just want you guys to always focus on like how much value can I give? And I talked about this again previously too, is like the hard lesson is like, even for me, like I had a ton of viral posts, you know, millions of views, all that kind of good stuff in terms of my personal brand, especially in the last 6 months. That doesn't really mean anything. So I always want you guys to remember that clout does not equal cash. You might have 1 million followers, you might get 10 million views next month. That doesn't mean you can sell a product or monetize in a certain way. It really depends on what the videos are, what your brand looks like, what your page looks like, what's the content you're putting out. There's so many factors that kind of go into, it's not just about the views, but how do you actually take that again and build an audience and be able to monetize an audience down the road? Again, that's what this whole process, all these types of things that we're going to be sharing with you are all about. Okay, so again, 3 rules: re-engaging concepts. The teach is to learn twice, right? I said that in the first video too. I want to keep re-engaging simpler concepts because you may not get it in the first video, maybe the second you get it, or maybe the third video you get it, but it's not always going to be the same things. I'm going to, again, constantly switch it up. There'll be different frameworks that are taught in different ways, but I want to give you as much value because, again, some people take in value one way, some people may take it in the other way. So it's all about just kind of reinforcing these methodologies towards you so we can keep hammering it down. Okay, so the 3 rules again. And we talked about this the first time. So we have the lean startup. This is build, measure, learn. Very, very simple. You want to build small, you want to measure your sales or your analytics, and you want to adjust and repeat. So build, measure, and learn. Second one, again, engagement does not equal conversion. So vanity metrics do not pay your bills. Please remember that. Engagement does not equal conversion. Okay, you need to focus a deeper layer outside of that. And again, I keep going back to it. It's the authentic connection and engagement that you actually build with your community and audience long term. So what does that look like? That's all going to be determined by the content you create, the knowledge you're putting out, the value you're putting out. If you can listen to me, kind of trust what I'm saying, just focus on creating as much immense value as you can. Value, 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 free, free, free. Do not worry about selling anything. I wish that rhymed more as more of a rap, but it didn't. I tried. And then lastly, again, the first $1 rule. I talked about this many times. Your first $1 is greater than 10,000 views. It proves that you actually have a business that exists because you validated that by someone charging their card. $1, $10 doesn't matter, but you show that people will purchase for this. Okay, another piece of advice I want to give is when it comes time to actually have a revenue stream, just pick one thing. And again, we'll get there naturally together, right? Like a lot of you may be starting from scratch. Maybe some of you already have inbuilt audiences that you want to monetize to. And comment and let me know where you are at in your journey also, right? But whether it's a service, a digital product, an apparel job, merchandise, whatever the case is, just focus on one revenue stream and build and grow from there. The worst thing you can do is actually start with multiple different things. You're going to confuse your audience and you're not going to know where to go. So you always just want to try to keep things simple. Man, remember, I talked about clarity a lot, right? Clarity, clarity, clarity. Clarity in vision, your mission, your values, everything you're trying to build and do. When you have the clarity, everything will become easier for you to, again, reach and get to your North Star. Okay, so going back to in the lab with another personal example, obviously I've seen multiple paths, we've tried a lot of different things, but we definitely started with small product drops. Okay, hoodies, basketball, socks, shoes, all those things were very small at the start. We didn't overbuild, we just tested with tiny runs, and if people bought it, then we made more, and if they didn't, then we simply just adjusted. Of course, I also learned the hard way that literally not everything works. Okay, we obviously had posts blow up with thousands and even millions of views sometimes. That does not equal sales, okay? And I just want to keep hammering this down, like even within the lab, even with Dev's account, like even with some of the creators I've worked with, like millions and millions of views and followers, that does not equate to sales, okay? I've literally seen creators with millions of followers that can't sell 5 t-shirts. It's a very real thing because their audience was not built and paired and prepped for that. That's not what they want from that specific creator. You have to build that want and need from the audience if in the future you want them to be able to purchase something from you. And again, I keep talking about purchasing because the long-term game North Star, that will be involved in some capacity or some form or some way, right? But for now, again, it's all about giving free value and building this audience up through that for now. Now, when we go into actually expanding your monetization strategy, once you make your first $1, you'll feel like you made it, but that honestly is literally just the start. So the next step is actually building what I like to call a value ladder. Okay, so let me write this out here. I'm gonna draw this on this beautiful whiteboard for you guys. So what is the value ladder? Moving people from free to low ticket to mid ticket to high ticket. So let's say we have free to low to mid to high. So if this is our ladder, right? So to reverse, but how do you move people from free to low to mid to high ticket? That's kind of like a natural life cycle if you're trying to sell products, you're trying to scale long term, right? This is gonna be how you create depth overall, but the key that I want you to understand is you do not jump straight to high ticket. That is the wrong thing to do. Okay, you need to build trust at each level and take time. Don't be those individuals out there trying to make $1 million tomorrow. Understand that it's a long game, play the long game and you will be rewarded. Free ticket. What is a free ticket? This is your content. This is literally just your content. Right now, if you go to my Instagram, all that stuff is free ticket. It's just me putting out great high level content, giving as much value as I can, and it's all literally for free. Low ticket could be something simple. Let's just call it a $10 guide, okay? I'm gonna sell a $10 guide one day in the future maybe, and that's gonna be my low ticket item. Its reason it's low ticket is very simple. It's a low barrier to entry. Almost anybody can afford to buy it. It's very simple and it gets them in the door to you actually proving that you can sell a product, okay? Mid-ticket could be something like a workshop. It could be a workshop, it could be camps, it could be coaching, many different things, but this would be a lot more. Let's say it's $99 or $100 or whatever the case is, but it's more of a mid-ticket, higher level item, okay? And then you have your high ticket. To me, this will be kind of like what I'm doing right now, which consulting, it could be partnerships, it could be anything in between. High ticket is the highest you can go, right? It's a high value item. Yes, you see people on TikTok and Instagram selling courses for $600. That would be a high ticket item, okay? You want to learn how to drop ship, pay for my $1,000 course, which a lot of people are doing. Now, whether it's good or not, I don't know, but that would be a high ticket item. And I'm sure in order for them to do that, again, they would have built trust through all these pillars. They would have had a lot of free content. They would have tried maybe a $10 or $20 course or something like that first. They would have had something in the middle here. Then that would all lead to them actually having the final big consulting play where it's like, hey, pay $600 for an hour of my time. I'll teach you everything you need to know about dropshipping, okay? So that's kind of how you can think about it, from free to low to mid to high. Don't try to do 10 things at once. Do not try to do that. You need to find your core revenue stream and you go all in. Use 20% of your time to experiment, 80% on what's proven, right? It's literally called the 80-20 rule. Man, it looks like 80-20 rule. It's literally all it is, okay? 20% of your time to experiment, 80% on what's actually proven, okay? 80% of your revenue will come from 20% of your products. 80% of your revenue will come from 20% of your products. For In the Lab, Silent Basketball was the 20%. For me today, it's gonna be brand deals plus digital education over time, okay? I get this question from creators a lot too, like if you can go back, like what would you change or do? Like for me, like all I would do is just enhance the amount of digital products I have out there that are free. So right now, if you go on my Instagram, I have like, let's say, I think it's been like 15 or 16 free guides that I created. Those are all digital products, they're all free entryways. I'm not charging for them. What I would have done is just double down on that. I should have 40 or 50 of those out there where like every single day, if someone comments on one of those posts or sees them naturally later on, they can still access that guide. I think that's like very, very important. So as you scale, the great thing too with digital content or products is like you don't need inventory. So, but they give you leverage like full time all the time. And again, as I told you in the first video, start to own your consumer data, your customer data, build an email list, build a text list, whatever you can do, try to build it out. And remember this, social media is rented land. You need to own your audience. Okay. You own nothing on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all these platforms, you don't own anything. So your customer is just out there on these platforms. If you don't have an email list, a text list, something with ManyChat, like some type of automation or tool helping you collect that data, understand who your customer is, maybe their email, maybe their phone number, something about them, so that if these platforms disappear, you can still re-engage with them. You can still keep them a part of your circle and what you're building. You need to reassess that immediately and really start thinking about that. And again, I have a ton of videos coming on this soon, but I recommend ManyChat. You can check out Lalo if you want text messages, emails. There's so many. There's MailChimp for basic, there's Klaviyo for e-commerce. There's so many different ways you can do it, but you just need to figure out what's going to work for you. You can even just DM people. You want to just keep it simple. Hey, I'm running this test. I want to give you something for free. Can I get your email to send it over? I'll send over a 100-page guide for XYZ for free. People will respond and give you that time of day if the proposition you're making gives them a ton of value for free. So this was definitely a quicker, short video, but a lot of great key takeaways still in this, right? So let's try to like bring this all home and wrap it all up. If you're trying to make your first $1 with your personal brand, here's what I want you to remember. Shift your mindset. You need to go from creator to entrepreneur. Then just Free. How much trust can you build before you focus and think about monetization? Most important thing you can do. Make your first $1. Validation is going to be, again, much better than theory. Yeah, I'm thinking, I think I can sell this. This may sell. Oh, this may do good. Just validate it. Try to sell something for $1 or $5 or $10 to one person. And just see and buy it. Okay, and then you'll actually understand, okay, people actually want what I'm selling, what I'm building. And of course, last one is expand strategically. Use the value ladder that I showed you earlier on in the video. Focus on your core and apply the 80-20 rule. Now, your first product is probably hiding in your DM somewhere. People are already asking you questions. Turn those into offers, turn those into scripts, turn those into content pieces. And remember, monetization isn't selling out. It's staying in the game long enough to make an impact, okay? That's why I say start with free, create your free value offers, your contents, all that kind of good stuff. Just do it for a year, 2 years, whatever the case may be. Because over time, the long game is monetization. You see some of the biggest creators in the world, they make content for 10 plus years with nothing. Then boom, the big moment happens for them, right? Now, I'm not saying it's going to take that long because today's day and age is very different. But just understand that you're in it for the long game. If you can have that unlocked mentally, as I talked about too, because the mental shift is the biggest thing to focus on and do and think about, then you're going to be just fine. So here's my challenge to you, okay? Comment your first step towards monetization on this video, and I'm going to literally reply to actually help guide you. Whether you want to comment on the video, send me a private DM on Instagram, or hit me up in emails. I'm going to be here full time to help all of you build and grow, okay? Build, monetize, scale. We're all going to do it together. And what I also want you all to kind of keep in mind and remember is, like, some of the videos I make are going to be very targeted towards beginners, or maybe the middle stage, or maybe the end stage. But in general, like today's video, the videos are going to be all encompassing. They kind of help everyone no matter what stage you are, because you may be even in the middle stage, but maybe you need to take a step back, or again, you might be in the beginner stage and maybe now it's time to take that big step forward. So I want to try to create the content to cater to everyone, but also understand that some of the videos will be very specific, such as the next one's coming up, to really help you define where you're trying to go, what you're trying to build, so we can basically just be on the ground and run, execute as fast as we can, but as efficiently as we can. I appreciate everyone that's been watching. We're literally just getting started, so stay locked in with me, stay tuned in with me. We got so much more to go. I'm making all this content and videos for you. If you have thoughts, ideas, feedback, anything, just drop it. Let's talk, let's engage, and we'll see you on the next one.